Lakeview might be the most misunderstood neighborhood in New Orleans. When people hear the name, they think of one thing: the water. In 2005, when the 17th Street Canal levee failed, Lakeview took some of the deepest flooding in the entire city. Some homes went until the roof line, so a lot of people cross it off the list before they ever drive through it. Here's what they miss. Lakeview just didn't come back. It rebuilt, newer and higher than almost anywhere in New Orleans. The levee that failed in 2005 isn't the levee protecting this neighborhood today, and the homes you'll walk through here are some of the most solid, most storm-ready houses in the city. Today, I'm going to give you the whole picture, where Lakeview actually sits and why that one fact cuts both ways. What daily life here really feels like, block by block, because this is really 4 neighborhoods wearing one name. And the honest truth about flood insurance and what it costs to own here, including the one part of the story I handle differently than any agent you'll talk to. I've sold homes in this city for over a decade, and by now you'll know exactly whether Lakeview is your fit or whether I should point you somewhere else. Let's take a walk. Let's start with the thing everybody's thinking, because stepping around it would be the fastest way to lose your trust. In August of 2005, the levee on the 17th Street Canal, which runs right along Lakeview's western edge, gave way. Water poured into the neighborhood, and because Lakeview sits low, it didn't drain. It sat there for weeks. Homes that had stood for 50 years were gutted to the studs or lost entirely. Lakeview flooded as badly as any neighborhood in the city. That's real. That's the history. And that's the reputation that stuck to the name. But a reputation is a photograph of one terrible moment. It tells you nothing about what happened next. And what happened next is part of the story almost nobody tells. The people of Lakeview came back. Not all at once and not easily, but they came back street by street. And there's the thing that matters for you as a buyer. When they rebuilt, they didn't rebuild the same. They built higher. They raised homes up off the ground. They built to a modern code the neighborhood never had before the storm. Families who had lived here for generations reinvested in the exact place that had flooded because they believed in it. And they were joined by a wave of new buyers who saw what everyone else was too nervous to see. A beautiful, well-located neighborhood that was about to become one of the newest housing stocks in an old city. Some of the real question 20 years later isn't, did Lakeview flood? Everybody knows it flooded. The real question is, what does Lakeview look like today? And does it fit the life I'm trying to build? Those are the 2 completely different questions, and the first one has kept a lot of good buyers from ever asking the second. We're going to ask it properly. Where it sits, what it feels like, and the honest numbers, all of it. So here's where Lakeview actually sits. 1 zip code, 70124. Draw the line in your head. Lake Pontchartrain runs across the top. City Park Avenue closes it all off at the bottom. The Orleans Avenue Canal is your eastern edge, and the 17th Street Canal is the one from the story, is your western edge. Inside of that box, you're still inside the city. This is Orleans Parish, not the suburbs, but it feels suburban in a way almost nothing else in New Orleans does. Wide streets, driveways, front lawns, real setbacks between the house and the curb. If you're relocating from a city where you gave up on having a yard, Lakeview is where that comes back. And look at what's on its doorstep. To the south, you've got City Park, 1,300 acres, one of the largest urban parks in the country, bigger than Central Park in New York, full of live oaks that have been standing for hundreds of years. Inside it, you've got the New Orleans Museum of Art, the Sculpture Garden, running paths, golf, and the Botanical Garden. To the north, you've got the lakefront, the seawall steps, the walking path, the marinas, sailboats, and the Southern Yacht Club, one of the oldest yacht clubs in the country. You're a straight shot down I-610 or Pontchartrain Boulevard to downtown. This is one of the easiest addresses in the city to actually live a daily life from. Picture a normal week here. A morning run under the oaks in City Park. Kids soccer on a Saturday a few minutes from your front door. Groceries and dinner on Harrison Avenue. A sail or a long walk on the lakefront when the weather turns. And when you do need downtown for work, for the airport, for a night out, you're there in 15 or 20 minutes without the kind of traffic that swallows an hour of your day in a bigger city. For a lot of people relocating here, that daily rhythm is the whole reason they choose Lakeview over the historic core. Now here's the truth what most people miss. And I want to say it plainly. The same thing that makes Lakeview beautiful is the same thing that flooded it. It sits low and it sits right against the lake. That closeness to the water gives you the marinas, the sailing, the sunset walk along the lakefront. It's also the exposure. You don't get one without the other. That's something to hide from a buyer. It's just the honest geography. And once you understand it, everything else about this neighborhood makes sense. But, and this is the part that changes the whole calculation, the flood protection standing between Lakeview and the lake today is not the system that failed in 2005. After Katrina, the Army Corps of Engineers built a $14.5 billion risk-free reduction system around Greater New Orleans, and it was finished in 2022. Right at the mouth of the 17th Street Canal, the exact spot that broke, there's now a permanent surge barrier with gates that close against the lake and a pump station built to move the water out. Same thing at the Orleans Avenue and London Avenue canals. When a storm comes, they close the gates and fire the pumps. The levee that failed is gone. What protects this neighborhood now is a different generation of engineering. That doesn't erase the risk. Nothing erases risk in a coastal city. But any honest conversation about Lakeview has to include what changed, not just what happened. One more thing before we walk the street. Lakeview isn't one place. Under that single zip code, there are really 4 different neighborhoods, 4 different lives, 4 different kinds of buyers, 4 different price points. Let me take you through each one. This is the family core, and it's what most people picture when the name finally clicks for them. Streets like Fleur-de-Lis, Argonne, Bel Air, General Diaz. Drive them slowly and you'll see the whole story of this neighborhood written into a single block. A mid-century brick ranch from the 50s, then a house that was raised and renovated after the storm, then a brand new construction home sitting up high on a fresh slab. Old and new side by side, because that's exactly how the rebuild happened, one lot at a time. Let's talk real numbers, because this is where I can give you them. As I'm filming this, most single-family homes in this part of Lakeview run between about $450,000 and $900,000. If you want and you're willing to take on a project, there are still older homes that need work down in the high 200s and low 300s. And on the other end, the new builds, and there are a lot of them, run from around $850,000 up past $1.5 million. Here's a number that tells you everything right now. There are 7 brand new homes for sale in this one zip code, every one of them built in the last 2 years. That's not a neighborhood living in the past. That's a neighborhood that bet on itself and kept building. And the anchor for a lot of these families is right on Harrison Avenue. Edward Hines Charter School. It's a K-8 public charter school that ranks in the top 5% of all public schools in Louisiana. 2 out of 3 kids there test proficient in math, 3 out of 4 in reading, both well above the state average in a state where that's not easy to find. If you're relocating with school-aged children, understand what that does for your math. In a lot of cities, you'll be writing a private school tuition check every month. A top-performing public school inside your neighborhood changes the entire cost of the move, and it's a big reason families compete for these blocks. A lot of those families are relocating professionals, physicians at Ochsner and the LCMC hospitals, faculty from Tulane and Loyola, people moving here for work who want a short, sane commute and a school they don't have to pay private tuition for. Lakeview hands them all 3 inside one zip code, and that steady demand is a big part of why the newer homes here hold their value the way they do. Harrison Avenue is also the main street, the spine of daily life here. And Pizza Dominica, for instance, and the rest of the avenue give you that walk to breakfast on a Sunday feel that's hard to find in a neighborhood this residential. Now cross into Lake Vista and the character changes completely. These are the garden streets, Swan, Aigrette, Oriole, Bamboo, laid out around private walking lanes instead of ordinary blocks. So a lot of these homes face a green path, not a road. It's one of the most secluded high-end pockets in the entire city. As I'm filming this, Lake Vista runs from about 1.2 million on the low end to about 3 million. If Lake Vista is the version of Lakeview you came here for, I walked the whole thing in a separate video. I'll link it right up here. Today, I'm staying on the part nobody talks about, what all of this actually costs and the flood math underneath it. Head toward the water and you reach West End and the Lake Marina area. This is the condo world, and it's the most affordable door into the whole neighborhood. As I'm filming this, marina front condos started around $120,000 and run into the mid-600s, with a handful of luxury units on Lake Marina Avenue reaching past $1 million. This is the lock and leave life. Your boat in a marina out front, no lawn to mow, water out the window. It fits a very specific buyer beautifully, the person who travels or spends time between cities, or is downsizing out of a big house and doesn't want to inherit a big house worth of maintenance. West End is where New Orleans has come to be, near the water for generations. The yacht harbor, the sailing, seafood right at the water's edge. Buy a condo here and that stops being a weekend outing and becomes your everyday backdrop. And right on the lake itself, Lakeshore. This is the most water-forward corner of the zip code. Lakefront homes and condos that look straight out over Pontchartrain, where the view is the whole point. As I'm filming this, the condos here mostly land in the $340,000 to $600,000 range. It's quiet, it's a little removed, and for the right person, the morning light off the lake is worth everything. 4 neighborhoods, 1 zip code. 4 completely different lives at 4 completely different prices. So the next time someone tells you Lakeview costs about this much, you now know enough to stop them and ask, which Lakeview? The part you actually came here for. What does it really cost to own in Lakeview? And yes, we're going to talk about flood insurance. Here I'm going to do something different from most of what you all read online. I'm not going to give you a flood insurance number, and I want to tell you exactly why, because the reason is the whole point. Every house in Lakeview carries a different flood risk, and I don't mean block by block, I mean house by house, sometimes next door to each other. How high the home sits, whether it was raised after the storm, what flood zone it falls in on the current map, the year it was built, and to what code. All of that moves the premium, and 2 houses across the street from one another can be thousands of dollars a year apart. So anyone who quotes you a flat flood insurance in Lakeview runs about this much is guessing, and guessing about your single biggest ongoing cost is not a service. It's how people end up blindsided a year after they move in. You'll hear terms thrown around like flood zone AE and flood zone X. In plain English, some parts of Lakeview sit in a higher risk zone where your lender will require flood insurance, and some sit in a lower risk area zone where it's strongly recommended but not mandatory. And here's what most people don't realize. After the new protection system went in, FEMA redrew the maps, and some homes ended up in a better zone than they were in before. 2 houses a block apart can sit in 2 different zones, which is one more reason the only number that matters is the one for your exact house in front of you. Here's what we do instead. On every home you get serious about, before you ever write an offer, we bring in our insurance partner and get you an individual quote for that specific house, the real address, the real risk, the real number, while you still have the freedom to walk away. And there's one document that drives all of it, the elevation certificate. It measures exactly how high the home sits relative to the flood risk around it. And it is the single biggest factor in what you'll pay to insure it. A raised home with a strong elevation certificate can cost a fraction of what an unraised one next door costs. We get that certificate, we read it together, and you make the decision with the true numbers sitting in front of you. That's not an add-on service, that's just how we work, because it's the only honest way to buy in a neighborhood like this one. And while we're being straight, the flood insurance is only one policy. In New Orleans, you're also carrying wind and hazard coverage, and Louisiana's insurance market has been tight the last few years. Carriers have pulled back statewide, and premiums have climbed. So your real number is flood plus wind plus hazard together, and it belongs in your budget from day one, not as a surprise at closing. This is exactly why we run the actual quotes early. You should walk into an offer knowing your true monthly cost of ownership, taxes and insurance included, down to the dollar, and build your property taxes into that same picture. The good news, Louisiana's homestead exemption takes the first $75,000 of your home's value off the table for most of your parish property taxes, as long as it's your primary primary residence. It helps, but the real bill depends on the property and its assessment. So we get you the true figure right alongside the insurance quotes. Never a rough guess you find out was wrong after you've already moved in. A couple more honest trade-offs. Because you deserve the full picture, Lakeview is car dependent. Outside of Harrison Avenue, you are driving to most things. This is not a walk to everything neighborhood. And if that's what you want, I'll tell you honestly, it's not here. It costs more per square foot than a number of other New Orleans neighborhoods because people are paying for the schools, the newer homes, and the location. And the zoning is strict, which is a double-edged thing. It protects the character and keeps the streets residential, but it also limits what you can add or change to a property. And think honestly about the home itself. An older unraised house can carry a higher insurance number and more upkeep. A newer raised one costs more upfront, but is often cheaper and calmer to own year to year. Neither is automatically the right call. It comes down to your budget and how much of a project you actually want in your life. That's a real part of the conversation we have before you ever. None of that is a deal breaker. It's just the reality of the place, and you should hear all of it before you fall in love with a front porch. So let me give you the honest verdict, who Lakeview is generally right for and who should keep looking. Lakeview may be one of the best fits in the entire city if you're a family that wants space and a yard and a driveway. If a top-tier public school inside your own neighborhood would change your life. And if you want a newer or fully rebuilt home near City Park and the lake. It fits the buyer relocating here who's used suburban room but doesn't want to give up because being inside of the city. And it fits the downsizer who wants the lock and leave condo life by the marina, with the water and the sailboats out the window and none of the upkeep. It's probably not your neighborhood if you want to walk out your door to restaurants and nightlife every evening, or if you want the dense historic porch-to-porch feel of Uptown or the Marigny. That's a different life. And if that's what you're after, I'd rather point you toward the neighborhood that actually delivers it than sell you the wrong fit here. Because in New Orleans, the smart move is always the same. Price the risk before you fall in love with the porch. The flood is the reason Lakeview is newer, higher, and better built than almost anywhere else in the city. The protection standing between it and the lake today is a different generation of engineering than the one that failed. And every trade-off that's left, the insurance, the cost, the car, is a number you can put your eyes on before you ever commit a dollar. That's not a neighborhood to be afraid of. That's a neighborhood to walk with your eyes open. If you're weighing a move to New Orleans, subscribe. We walk one neighborhood after another honestly every single week. We're the team that helps you find the neighborhood that actually fits your life. A realtor who interprets the city, not just unlocks doors. And whether you're moving in 9 days or 90, reach out, book a call, the link's in the description, and we'll get you the real numbers on any home you're looking at, flood quote included. I'm Margaret, and along with Bernard, we're your relocation team, ready whenever you're ready to make the move.